And welcome back to another Mr. Smith video. Today we are going to continue talking about Rome. Rome, as we've talked about so far, is an emerging empire. It is driven by war and conquest, but that's not all there is to Romans. Today we're going to be talking about something else the Romans are known for, other than their magnificent feats of conquest. Today we're going to be talking about Roman engineering. So the picture that you see here with me is what you would have seen for a typical Roman engineer. No, he is not poking himself in the eye. Oh, by the way, speaking of technology, do you know why the Romans never had cell phones? They couldn't get any signal because they were always Roman. Get it, Roman? Anyway, the device he has is used for measuring distances and angles. And using mathematics, he would then plan out the building projects. Now, the Romans have created all kinds of new things, technologically speaking, okay? They are starting to use the shape of the arch for strength. They have concrete that can harden underwater. And one of their greatest achievements that we're going to talk about today is their system of aqueducts. You can see an example of an aqueduct here behind me. And when people think of aqueducts, this is mostly what they think of. This is the part of the aqueduct that would be used to span gullies and the distances between hills and rivers that got in the way, such as this one. Now, what is an aqueduct? Okay. Some of you are saying, hey, I know that word, aqua. Well, yes, it means water. An aqueduct is a channel or a canal that is used to bring water from a faraway water source into a city. And the Romans used gravity to do this. The way they would do it is they would go and they would pick a water source that was uphill somewhere far away from the city or state or whatever it is that they wanted to bring water to. And then they would dig a series of channels. Most of the aqueduct is going to be underwater to prevent it from being destroyed by invaders. Because the Romans were worried about that. I guess when you take over a bunch of people, you worry about paybacks. Okay, so and the way it works is that the whole thing is sloped slightly downhill. Now, it can't be too sloped because then things will erode and break and get destroyed. And it can't be too flat either, because then sediment and other things will settle out and create blockages in it, and they'll have to go clean it out. So Rome itself actually had 11 aqueducts that fed it. And the longest one being 57 miles. So these are huge, incredible feats of engineering. So, if you know slope from math, rise over run, okay, they did these things incredibly precisely so that the slope in some areas is 1 meter of drop every 94 meters. In other areas, it was as much as 1 meter of drop for every 82,000 meters. So incredibly precise things they would do in order to get that water flow just right in the different areas. And it wouldn't necessarily be the same all the way along the aqueduct. They're going to tweak it here and there as needed, depending on the shape of the land and things like that. So these aqueducts are incredible feats of engineering. They allow fresh, clean water to flow into major Roman cities, and then these would actually be piped into fountains and baths and pools and reservoirs for drinking water. Another great feat of Roman engineering is their bridges. This bridge that you see behind me here is the Alcantara Bridge. It was built in 106 AD. This bridge still has car traffic on it today. Roman bridge. 1,900 years old and counting. Still has car traffic on it. Okay, that big arch that you see in the center has a plaque on it, and written in Latin, the language of Rome, it says, "I have built a bridge that will last forever." So far, so good. There are still 931 Roman bridges existing today, spread across 26 countries. Some of them still take foot and car traffic to this day. The Romans had incredible feats of engineering. Now, we talked about the arch. Okay, you may see the arch here in the bridge behind me, and you saw it in the aqueducts. Arches are really great load-bearing structures because what happens is the weight in the center of the arch gets pushed down and then spread throughout the rest of the arch. It is incredibly stable, it's incredibly strong, and in some cases, some of these arches are built with stones that are not even cemented together because the sheer weight of gravity and how closely the stones fit hold it all up. Kind of like if you've ever made something interesting out of Jenga and it holds itself up. Okay, slightly different, but still same idea. These are much more stable than the things you make with Jenga, however. Okay. Romans were known for their bridges. Julius Caesar, in his military conquest of what is now modern day France and Spain, uh, built a bridge over the River Rhine as he started to fight with some of the Germanic tribes there in Germany. In 56 BC, he had a fallen, the Romans are going there to subdue some of these barbarians, and they get to the Rhine River. Well, the Rhine River is 300 feet wide at this point. Julius Caesar builds a bridge across it in 10 days that he then marches his several thousand troops. I think it's somewhere between 30 and 100,000 troops that he marches over this bridge. It was incredibly sturdy. In fact, the only reason that bridge did not survive for a long period of time is that after Caesar left the area, he burned it behind him. All right, folks. Well, that's it for today. Roman engineering. Make sure you're working on those packets and stuff. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.